line. Now, next, I'd like to introduce our second speaker of the day, Abdul Mukid, who is a senior lecturer at Shakola Ting Inlu Basi Arab, Arabic Language College of Darul Ulam, Banyar Pakistan, Indonesia, and also as a lecturer in several colleges since 2017. He specializes on educational research issues. He got his doctorate at Ibn Khaldun University, Indonesia. Besides, he is also an editor in the Journal of Al Ifram and a reviewer in several journals in Indonesia. He wrote some books and journal articles of language teaching and as vice director in his institution College of Arabic Language of Banyaram. Again, I request the participants to keep their queries for the end of this session and also keep writing in the chat box. Sir, I welcome you and request you to start the session on the topic of education challenges in disruption era. Sir, over to you.
Tonight, I want to concern about our happening news about education challenges in disruption era. I choose this point because this theme is very, very important and we are going through it and we will continue to face it. I am from Indonesia and I come from Madura, Java, East Java, in Indonesia. And it is about me. My name is Abdul Mukid. My affiliation in Darul Uloom Banyuanyar University of Indonesia, and I educate my education in my first or S1, Strata 1, or we call baccalaureus at STU Al-Hikmah Jakarta, for especially Islamic studies, and my magister and my doctoral in Islamic education at Ibn Khaldun University, Bogor, Indonesia. This is my affiliation, my college. Now, on this occasion, I will discuss this theme in four contents. The first, introduction, the two, disruption era, discourse definition of key terms problems. The third, discussion what and how education challenges in this era and the disruption era, and the fourth, conclusion point suggestion. Okay, everybody. In the point in the first content, introduction. We know Stephen Elop, CEO of Nokia, said before handing over his company handset division to Microsoft, he said, "We didn't do anything wrong. But somehow we lost. Nokia didn't do anything wrong, but then the company disabled, the product loss has affected and no longer demanded by the market." According to Jim Collins, 2001, the reason is that the already good was complacent, not alert. So he said, "Good is the enemy for greatness." Said, "Good is the enemy of greatness." It is a very good statement to us, to our future. Nokia used to call Android the easy little rat and cruiser and that. Excessive arrogance and self-confidence make Nokia stuck in a father's dilemmas. History records that then is days instead. Nokia collapsed under the iPhone in 2007, even though the iPhone manufacturer not a telco company, but from the computer industry. Why? Because he said good is the enemy of greatness, and Nokia have excessive arrogance and self-confidence make Nokia lost. This is called the era of disruption. This is a disruption era, the era of disruption, where major changes are taking place. change that impact everything, including education. But we immediately need to realize is that the world is changing from all sides, which we must respond as soon as possible. Because if not, we will suffer the same fates of Nokia. Fates Nokia, as the all saying, all say, or set statement, all saying that we often hear, change or extinct. Okay. In the second content, we talking about disruption era definition and history. Definition is we see about this PPT, an innovation that helps. Innovation by Clayton Christensen and Joseph Bauer in his book, The Disruption Innovation 1997. He said, an innovation that helps create market and opportunities, disrupts or undermines existing market system, and ultimately replace the old technology. In contrast, according to Francis Fukuyama, he sees a symptom and event of disruption as the lexical meaning of the word. Disruption is divided as a shock that destroys the system of social order in society. Francis Fukuyama proved or showed this defined in his book, The Great Diffusion, in 1999. So we summarize a few things. The meaning of disruption is disruptor, troublemaker, or culprit, which indicate negative, or who interprets the disruption as an innovation, replacing the wall or system with new voice. Disruption make the incumbent obsolete and lost reference in facing the new world. And his history of disruption, we find the term of disruption was first introduced by Clayton Christensen and Joseph Bauer in their article The Disruption Innovation in 1995. The article is actually intended for executive directors who plan funding and forecast in a corporation related to the company's future earnings. Furthermore, in his book, The Innovator's Dilemma, in 1997, Christensen introduced the disruptive innovation model. After he showed the disruptive innovation, he come by new term in his book in the disruptive innovation model. An innovation that help make market and opportunities, disrupt or undermine existing market systems, and ultimately replace the old technology. Disruptive innovation develop a product of service in a way that the market cannot predict, generally by creating different types of consumers in the new market and lowering prices in the old or incumbent market. In contrast, according to Fukuyama, author the Great Diffusion, he says symptom and event of disruption as the lexical meaning of the word. Disruption is defined as a shock that destroys the social order system in the society. Development of increasingly sophisticated information technology is an indicator that makes Fukuyama see this era is an era of disruption. Indonesian, this is Professor Renat Kasali, and expert and professor of economics in his book Disruption in 2017, explores Clayton Christensen theories by talking various recent cases, but in the fields of business, social society, and government bureaucracy. He translates disruption with the meaning of a nuisance, troublemaker, or culprit. If it is associated with the word digital, then it means something that comes after the digital era and disrupt the stability of business that do not use the internet and digital technology as an added value. The word disruption can also be interpreted as an innovation, replacing the entire old system with new OS. It makes it possible to replace old technology with new technology with the digitized system increase efficiently and effectivity. Currently, we call the era of disruption the Industrial Revolution 4.0. The first industrial revolution that occurred in uh, 18th century was marked by the invention of the steam engine, which was used for the production process of goods. At that time, in England, the steam engine was used as the first mechanical loom that called increases as description change the old paradigm to become new paradigm. The goal is to be a more practical, simple, current, effective, efficient, and able to adapt to development and demand of changing time. As it is the era of industrial revolution, the first industrial revolution that occurred in the uh, 18th century, and the industrial revolution 2.0 occurred the beginning of the 19th century. The Industrial Revolution was marked by the invention of electric power, muscle power, which at that time had been replaced by steam engines, slowly began to replace it again by electric power. Even so, there are still obstacles that hinder the production process at the factory, namely transportation problems. After the second industrial revolution, humans still play a very important role in the production process of various types of goods. However, after the third industrial revolution, humans no longer play an important role. After his revolution, the industrial age slowly ended and the information age began. If the first revolution is triggered by a steam engine, the second revolution is triggered by conveyor belt and electricity. The third revolution is triggered by machine that can move and think automatically, namely computers and robots. While this is the Industrial Revolution 4.0 that is currently being discussed. Now.
Sir, excuse me, sir, your slides have not moved. We are still in on the first slide. Can you change your slides, please?
Okay. Yes. Okay. You see my slide?
No, we are still seeing your first slide only. Yes,
Okay,
it
now,
has
now
changed
you
now.
see. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Uh, the originator of term disruption in education, uh, who is we call the massive open online course MOOCs and AI, artificial intelligence. The development of method does not stop at student-centered teaching. Currently, the concept of MOOCs is also known, which stand for massive open online course. Online teaching has about reach, transcending the physical boundaries of campus and country. There are many leading universities in the world that provide courses by utilizing the internet technology. In our country, Indonesia, a similar effort has been initiated by an institution called Indonesiax since 2015 and involves lecture from well-known universities. This business is still in the early stage. It has not become a mainstay business for more advanced university, namely the Open University program called the Online Open Certificate Program. This program was developed to enable enthusiasts to continue to learn for life in the digital era now and the future. MOOC's curriculum can be accessed by anyone, anywhere online, even for free. This is a very basic change. Previously, college required physical presence on campus and paying tuition fees come short with the quality of the internet college. The offer of MOOCs can attract prospective students who have just graduated from high school. MOOCs allow enthusiasts enthusiasts to retail course, college, and teaching professor. MOOCs stand the position of buyers terribly transforming the higher education market from a profit market to buyer market. If the current study program curriculum is designed by the university, in the future, it could be the buyer who will determine the course he wants to take at the university. In other words, they will build a personalized curriculum that fit their needs. It was the smokes that started the disruption of higher education, and in fact, the entire higher education system that he have begun. Yes, they have begun. Disruption initiates the build of a new business model with more innovative and disruptive strategies. The scope of change with ringing for the word of business, banking, transportation, social society to education. This era will demand that we change or become extinct. It is the difference between MOOCs and artificial intelligence and all system. MOOCs, our new system, it all depend on the student. Our all system, everything depend on the teacher and the institution. Solution: how to able to face the challenges of this era of disruption. There are 5 components. They have, the impact of MOOCs and AI classroom have evolved with digital learning pattern that provide learning experience that are more creative, participatory, diverse, and comprehensive. The evolution of learning often by MOOCs and AI will raise a critical question. Is the role of teachers still relevant in the future? Solution: how to be able to face the challenges of this era of disruption. There are 5 competence. There are 5 competence that must be possessed by teacher in this era of the industrial revolution 4.0. Namely, first, educational competence. Educational competence, the competence to educate or learning based of Internet of Things. Second, competence for technological commercialization, has the competence to educate a student and has an entrepreneurial attitude, or we call entrepreneurship, based on technology and the work of student innovation. Change the mindset and behavior in order to adapt to Industry 4.0. This is the basic capital in making changes. Some of ways are to learn openly, utilize and develop technology that continues to develop rapidly. Third, competence in globalization. Work without barriers, not studying about various cultures, hybrid competencies, and problem solver competence. Fourth, competence in future strategies. The world is easy to change and run fast so that they have the competence to predict exactly what will happen in the future along with the strategy. Fifth, counselor competence. Considering that in the future of the problem of student is not in difficult of understanding teaching material, but more related to psychological problem. Stress due to pressure from increasingly complex and severe condition. Teachers are needed who are able to act as counselors or psychologists. Fifth, counselor competence. Yes, counselor competence. And this is 5 competence that must be processed by teacher in the era of the Industrial Revolution 4.0. Okay, the second solution is changing the strategy for sustainable innovation to disruptive innovations from sustainable innovation to disruptive innovation, change the strategy. Sustainable innovation is old strategy, and now we must to be change to new strategy to disruptive innovation, strengthening the role of education as an effort to build good character, with rather as disruption for renewal than economic change or extinct. It is now we uh, talking about conclusion. It is the undeniable that there have been many positive changes and development that have made science easy to channel with the advantage of this era of disruption, such as online lectures, digitizing libraries or e-libraries, and the existence of mobile smartphone basic educational application. However, it cannot replace the role of moral education of character education. Therefore, technological advance in the era of disruption must go hand in hand with moral education for students, so that education in the era of disruption can produce students who have intellectual, emotional, social, and spiritual intelligence. We come to the conclusion that the era of disruption demand change and innovation. In order to survive, there must be a paradigm shift from what was previously sustainable innovation to disruptive innovation. The main thing is to improve teacher competence in accordance with the times and strengthening the role of education as an effort to build good character. Uh, yes, it is my presentation, and I uh, very sorry about the trouble, and may Allah, may God bless us and let us to be successful in facing the era of disruption. Yes, Ma'am, moderator, I beg you this. Okay,
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us a new direction into understanding of the teaching learning process. Now, I'd request the participants to, uh, raise any queries that they have. Also, sir, participants have requested you to share your PPT with them if possible.
okay. I share my PPT to committee. Uh, yes, committee and is sent to all participants. I wish he send all participants my PPT. Okay.
Okay. Please ask questions if you have any. We have some thank yous coming in, sir, for you. Very informative session, and a few participants have thanked you for sharing your knowledge with them. And some have commented that it's a very informative session. So, a lot of appreciations coming your way, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for all. Yes.
Some have said it's a very interesting session, wonderfully articulate session. Some have thanked you a lot. So, a lot of praise your way, sir.
Okay. Thank you for all. See you later in a goodness.